Okay, so now we want to handle post requests. We want to be able to add an idea through hitting a specific endpoint. And since this is a REST API, it's going to be a post request to just /API/ideas, or in this file, just slash. So to create a post request, let's come down here, or not to create, but to accept a post request. Let's say add an idea. Then we have to use the router, and we're going to use a post method. Okay, and this works the same way. We pass in the endpoint, which is going to be slash, which ultimately is API/ideas. Then we have our function, and again, this is going to take in request response. And just for now, let's say res.send, and we'll say post success. Okay, and then if we go to Postman, and I'm going to open up a new tab for this, and it's going to be this same endpoint, except it's going to be a post request. Send that, and we get post success. Now, like I said, we want to add an idea, which means we have to send some data. And the way we do that with an HTTP request is through the body. And in order to do that with Express, we actually have to add a piece of middleware. And middleware is just something that happens between the request and response. And we need to be able to accept form data or raw JSON either way. We want to be able to send data either way. So in server.js, we're going to go right under where we initialized Express. And let's say it's actually called body parser middleware, because we're parsing data in the body. So again, we use app.use to specify middleware. So the first line is going to be express.json. That'll allow us to send raw JSON to the server. And then we want to do app.use, and this one is going to be express.url encoded. And we want to pass in just an object with extended and set that, extended, and set that to false. All right, so this is something that's very common that you're going to use in just about all your APIs. These used to be in a separate package called body parser. You used to have to do an npm install body parser, but in, I think, Express 5, version 5, I believe, they included it in the core framework. So now you don't have to install something separate. Now, what this allows us to do by adding this middleware is on the request object, when we get the request, we can access request.body and then whatever field we want. So for example, I'm just going to send request.body.text. Okay, so when I make a post request now, I'm going to go to body, and we can either add raw JSON or we can use this form URL encoded. So I'm going to put a value of text, and I'll just say hello. So let's send, and you can see now it's just responding with whatever I put in that text field in the body, because that's what I'm responding with. So what we want to do with this data that's sent, basically we want to accept text, tag, and a username. Right? So let's go into the post route here, and let's construct an idea object. Now, when you're using a database, the ID is added automatically, or with MongoDB, it's actually _ID. But since we're dealing with just static data here, we have to create the ID ourselves. And you never want the user to send the ID. That's just something you don't do. So we're going to take ideas, the array, and then the length, and we're going to add one onto it. So that way it auto increments, right? So we have 3. If we add a new one, the ID is going to be 4. So that takes care of the ID. The text is going to come from request.body.text, just like I just showed you. And we also want the tag, which is going to be request.body.tag. And then the username, request.body.username. Now, usually when you attach a user to a resource, it's through authentication. So you would have them log in, and then you'd have some kind of middleware that would get that logged in user's ID and put it into the idea or a post or whatever it is. But again, we're not implementing authentication here. So for the date, I'm just going to say new date. And a lot of times with databases, you can have them add the date automatically as well. But for now, we're just going to do new date, and we're going to do to ISO string. And we're going to slice, let's say dot slice from 0 to 10, because I don't want like the time or anything. So that should give us just the number date. And in fact, we can test this out. Let's just do a console log of idea. Whoops, why did I put a semicolon there? So console log of idea, excuse me. And then we'll just send a text tag. For the text, let's just say this is a new idea. For the tag, we'll say, I guess, technology. And then what else do we need? Username. I'll just say Brad. So if I send, I get this is a new idea because that's what I'm responding with, but I console log the entire idea. So you can see down here, the ID is 4. Text tag username is all what we added, what we sent in the body, and the date is this, which is today's date. All right, so all I want to do now is add it to the ideas array. So we can say ideas.push. And let's add idea. And then what I want to send back as a response, I'm actually going to send JSON. So we'll do res.json. You can use send if you want. Let's say success true. And I'm going to send back as the data, I'm going to send that idea that was created. All right, so now let's go back to Postman, and we'll send this again. We get success true, and we get the idea we just created. Now, this is not going to stick. It's just in memory, right? I just set it to an array in memory. But if I don't reload the server and I go back and I get all the ideas, you see 1, 2, 3, and 4, my new idea is here. Okay, I could even get it by getting a single idea, so /4, and it's there. But if I restart the server and then I come back and I try to do that, that's not going to work. We get resource not found. Okay, if we go back here and send, we don't get 4 anymore because it was only in memory. All right, but you can see that this whole process is working how it should. We just simply don't have a database yet. All right, now in the next video, I want to show you how we can handle put and delete requests. So basically, we want to be able to update and delete posts.